But that being said, I mean, he had 6 games played in 2015 where he had a 2.27 ERA. Pretty good. Next season, in 22 games, he had a 3.40. Again, pretty good. Then he had a 6 ERA in 13 games the next season. Then he came back with a 3.97. Still not great. And it was 5-11. And this season he has a 4.32. You never know what you're going to get out of Steven Matz. So you can't say that they have a dominant rotation. You could say they have a dominant 2, or a dominant 1 and a good 2, a dominant 1 and 3 good others, who could be very dominant. But I want to see it. Now, their catcher Wilson Ramos, I've always been a fan of. His defense is good, is not great. He's never been an average hitter. He's batting .255 this season. He's always had some okay power. He had 10 home runs this season. But hey, you can live with him if he's a good receiver and your pitchers like him, and you can get something out of your catcher offensively. It's fine by me. Your first base, I'm not going to complain about. I like Alonso a lot. I think Pete Alonso is a very good ball player. He's not the next Aaron Judge by any stretch, but he is a very good hitter. He's a decent first baseman. His average is where I think it should be, about 265, 270. He's going to hit a lot of home runs, and he's going to be an anchor at first base for a while. So I like that. Now, Cano is when the Mariners traded Cano, oh boy, were they so happy. The reason they were okay with trading their ace relief pitcher is because someone took on that horrible Cano contract. And they washed their hands and said, thank you, goodbye. And he's been just terrible. Just terrible. I mean, you can't call him not terrible. Yeah, he's got 9 home... Okay, no, not even yeah. He's got 9 home runs and 29 RBIs. He's batting .235. And he's 36. I'm not going to make a case for Cano as a good player anymore. He fell off the table. He fell off the table like a good slider. Gone. Cano's days as a phenomenal ball player and the one I used to watch on a day-to-day basis are over. I'm going to miss that Cano. I like that Cano. He's not there anymore. And he's taking away a spot. He's taking away a spot at second base from the guy who should be playing second base in Jeff McNeil, who's playing the outfield right now, which makes him versatile, but it's not his position. He's playing out of position. And you can see it when he plays there. Your shortstop is Ahmed Rosario. Now, Ahmed Rosario is a very athletic ball player. He's been a good enough ball player, but he's definitely not the Mets' answer to Gleyber Torres. When there was a top 100 prospect show, it was Guerrero Jr., Tatis, Ohtani, Torres, Jimenez, and Rosario. Now, one of those guys hasn't lived up to the hype at all, and that's Ahmed Rosario. I still think he can be a good ball player. He's 23 years old. He's still young. He can still be finding himself as a ball player, but he's not there yet. Clearly. Maybe he puts in the work this offseason. Maybe he does something good next season. I don't know that. But I can't go off of speculation. I can only go off of what I see. And you go to third base. Next season, it could be McNeil. I don't think they're going to sign Frazier, re-sign Frazier. You could move Cano there and put McNeil at his natural position at second base. I don't really know. So they have a lot to work with there. Conforto as an outfielder, I've always liked Conforto, but his season of 256 and 21 home runs is not the guy you once saw who hit a home run in the World Series. It's just not. I think he's a decent enough player, but I don't think he's I don't think he's going to be that 330 home run hitter, that 300 average 30 home run kind of ball player that I thought he was going to be one day. Lagares is a horrible hitter. I don't think that's a stretch. He's just awful. is absolutely awful at the plate. Can field to the best of him, but is awful is awful in the field. I mean, awful at the plate. Great in the field. I don't know if they're getting Cespedes back next season. You can't really count on them. So they need an outfielder. They definitely need bullpen help because nobody in that bullpen has been great. So that's my take on the Mets. Being just being enigmatic. They confuse me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And this deadline has 10 minutes to go before the end, and the Yankees have done nothing. The Yankees have done nothing. Now, 10 minutes is a long time. Brian Cashman can call up all 30 teams and figure something out. But, and it's a very loud but, because I don't see Cashman giving in. And I don't see him just swallowing his pride and saying, fine, we need to win a championship first before we win championships. But it's not going to happen because that's not who Brian Cashman is. I tend to greatly believe in Brian Cashman. I do. When he traded for Gleyber Torres, I was very happy. When he traded for Clint Frazier, I was very happy. When he went out and signed, Chapman again, it's traded for Luke Voigt. Very smart deals. But now it's come to a point where we need a starting pitcher. We need one desperately, and he's just not giving in. He's not going to give in an inch, and it may just be the reason that the Yankees don't win the World Series this year. We need it. We need an arm, and this is the last day to get an arm. I don't know about other Yankee fans, but I'm just not comfortable. As my one being Tanaka, for as great as Tanaka's been in the playoffs, I'm not comfortable going into a postseason series with Tanaka as my one. Because say we are the one seed, say we make it out of the American League as the one seed, we would then play the winner of the wild card game. Which, I mean, could be Boston, could be Tampa Bay, could be Cleveland. All of those teams have a better one than we do. They have Morton, Sale, and at that point, he'll be healthy, Kluber. And whoever we throw out there is going to be Tanaka probably. Maybe Severino, who hasn't pitched yet this season, and it's going to be August tomorrow. So it's going to be an interesting next 7 minutes, but probably a quiet 7 minutes, an unfortunately quiet 7 minutes. Our big move this trade deadline season was getting Edwin Encarnacion, which, hey, I like him. We didn't need any more offense. We have a very good offense. It's no surprise that the Yankees have a good offensive team. That's no secret. But we went out and got Encarnacion because why pass it? Why pass it up? Our need is pitching, and we're probably not going to get it as we wind down this trade deadline season. I've always been a fan of the hot stove when it comes to the trade deadline. When it comes to the offseason, I'm a huge fan of waking up every day and checking out what's gone down, who's been signed, who's been traded. It's always very interesting to me. It's the business aspect of the game that I find interesting, as well as the on-field play. I love the game as a whole. So this is very interesting to me. So when I see stagnation, when I see nothing going on, it bothers me, and it should bother baseball fans, especially when, as fans, we think we know what teams should be doing. As educated fans, I mean, you know about expiring contracts and teams' farm systems and what they have and what they want to give up, what they need. It all seems to make sense. But then it doesn't happen, and it all gets very confusing. 5 minutes to the deadline, and usually there's a deal or two that happens that comes out after the deadline's over. All they have to do is get in the paperwork to the league offices before 4:00, and the deal can be approved. So there may be a deal or two that happens just after the deadline, just after 4:00. But yeah, this is it. There's no waiver deadline this year. This usually was the non-waiver trade deadline, but that's gone by the wayside. This is the only deadline this year. There is no deadline August 31st, like a few years ago, how the Yankees got Andrew McCutchen and the Astros got Justin Verlander. That can't happen anymore. That kind of deal is not happening. They can't go through waivers and then get traded. That's just it's not how things work anymore. This is the one deadline. So whatever happens now is what happens is how your team's going to be built for the rest of the season. You cannot trade players. After these next 4 minutes, you cannot trade players. Looks like a small trade here is going on. The Angels are trying to. The Angels are trying to trade. Are trying to finalize a deal for Max Stassi. Small trade there. So little trades here or there, little things trickling in. The team that I think did the best at was the Braves. They really shored up their relief pitching. Really shored it up. They got Shane Green. They got Mark Melancon. So they to go along with the guy to go along with Dallas Keuchel, who they signed last month. They really have shored up their rotation and their bullpen. They really have shored up themselves. The Astros just made a deal for Joe Biagini, pitcher for the Blue Jays, who is on his way to Houston now. Decent enough arm, good curveball, but has never been anything great. So he is on his way to Houston. I still want to be surprised. I still would like to be surprised within these next 2 minutes. I don't know what's going to happen because typically you hear about things might be trickling in here or there, but typically things don't majorly change within the next 2 minutes. But hey, we may very well find something happens within the next few minutes. But as of right now, we have. I'm reading the trade deadline clock. It's 1 minute, 44 seconds till the deadline is up, and teams are set in their ways for the foreseeable future. And Madison Bumgarner remains a Giant. Noah Syndergaard remains a Met. Zach Greinke remains a Diamondback. A lot of teams hold their players. And hey, if it works out for them, it works out for them. But I'm not going to go out and say that the Giants or Mets or Reds or Diamondbacks are going to do anything of note this season aside from lose a bunch of games. That'll be the most noteworthy thing the Giants, Mets, and Reds do this year, are lose. So I don't know. I'm lost. I'm at a loss. Deadline under a minute. Nothing's come out yet. Some news on the injury front. David Robertson's going to be out for the season. So the Phillies are without their free agent signee in Robertson for the rest of the year. That's unfortunate. I've always been a big fan of Robertson. He was a great Yankee. But sad to lose him for the whole season. And we shall see what happens in this coming minute. 20 seconds to go until the official end of the deadline. We'll stick around for a few minutes afterwards to see if anything trickles in. But as of right now, we have 10